Welcome to Racing Home Podcast. We're joined by your two hosts, S. Bobber and Nick Agater. I don't have a joke today because life has been a joke. So, we're just going to go forward with it.
We've
How
been
you
really
doing, Nick?
busy. Okay, so last weekend was incredibly busy. Carol and I, we finally had our wedding. And for people who are close to me, they already know that Carol and I have been married. So why would we get married again? It was essentially the reception that COVID delayed for like 5 years. We were supposed to get married in May 2020, but then COVID happened. We got our money back because we had event insurance. Used that money for down payments on homes, and then we never actually put together a plan to actually have a formal wedding or a reception. And so that finally happened last weekend. It was the same day as her birthday, so my wife turned 30. She probably does not want me putting that out there, but someone can look it up and figure it out.
Dang, you would just age your wife.
Hey, I'm 32. I'm 2.5 years older. We had trivia, and that was one of
You
the
never
questions.
age a woman, dude. You never age a woman.
Asians don't age. It's just a number.
True.
Then my mother turned 60. So, I don't know. Big birthdays for everybody in my family, except me. I just got to be there and look pretty in pictures. How about your
Your
weekend,
butt,
man?
your butt does look good in that suit. I'll tell you that much.
Thanks. That suit fitted me again like 5, 6 years, actually 6 years when I fitted myself for the wedding. And I did not change anything on the pants. So I kind of grew into the pants in all dimensions. Well, not height, but width. I did have to adjust the jacket. The jacket, I got a little bit bigger.
You got jacked. You didn't get bigger.
Yeah. Our
Oh,
getaway car was the Expedition. Ravi and Asanga and Daniel and Eva. If I'm forgetting someone else, I'm so sorry, but that's who I was told was there window painting the car and putting like just married all over the car. And they did an incredible job. They even had Ariel on the side on one of the windows. And Ravi, he sent me a video the next day, but he had put down water on the ground on the rear tires to try to make it like a little bit slippier because he was expecting that I would try to do a burnout in the Expedition in front of the crowd. But I didn't do that. I didn't even see it, to be honest. I was so in the moment with Carol and making sure she looked good and making sure it looked good on videos and photos, which I
yeah.
probably didn't because I had a few drinks by that point. Anyways, all I did was rev the engine and then I just went around the building and put it back into a parking spot.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was a good
So
time.
that was your third wedding, technically, right? Like you had your
Third,
first ceremony during COVID. The second one is what I attended
back it
in
up.
Austin.
Hold on, back it.
Oh, okay.
Further back actually. So legally, the very first time we got married was 2019. So in
Okay.
2019, we legally got married at a courthouse in Lubbock, which is the city where we met because we met in college. And
Okay.
then we were supposed to have a formal wedding in 2020. COVID put that off. And then on our 5-year anniversary, which was February 2024, we decided to go and renew our vows. We were like 5-year vow renewal. And you and Zach and Kenny and Richard, Raza was there. Yeah, the four of y'all rode in the car in the GR, and then Richard joined as well with his girlfriend. That's how it all worked out.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all attended that. So that was a 5-year vow renewal plus a formal marriage certificate, and then this sixth one, this 6-year third time wedding event was the reception. So that had like everyone else that could come hear our vows because it was only close family and friends there. We had more people. We had music. We had dancing. I suck at dancing, but I still did a formal dance with Carol, and I actually think it was pretty cool. Spun around 2 times without dropping her, so I'm proud of myself for that one.
E-
Wedding cake. So we had like the whole how you picture a wedding. That is what happened this past weekend. Everything else
Yeah,
preliminary was all like legal stuff and 5-year
gotcha.
vow renewal.
I'm still sad that I had to miss it. As I mean, you know this, but you were invited to this wedding too. So our other
Yep.
buddy, Raza, excuse me, hold on a second.
Bless you.
I was like losing my voice for a second. Sorry. Um,
You're good.
I was saying this. Our other buddy, Raza, he also had his wedding the same day, right? It was a brown wedding. It was like a 2-day wedding event that he had, and I had to go to that. And since I had attended your close friends ceremony, 5-year
5-year.
renewal
Yeah.
thing, I decided to go to Raza's thing this time around. I was trying to play mind gymnastics literally till the last minute of, like, how I could come to your wedding and then go from your wedding to Raza's wedding because it started a little bit later,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I chose one because, Kenny tried doing that, and he just never came to Raza's wedding.
Speaking of Kenny, he was the life of the well, besides Caroline, he was the other life at the party, I would say, on the dance floor.
Yeah.
That man can dance. I had 3 different family members come up to me, all
Mhm.
asking, "What is that guy's name? Did you hire him?" Right?
Yeah.
Because they were so impressed with him dancing. He had so much energy, and everyone was, like, enjoying his moves. Carol and I were
Yeah.
as well, and so he brought so much energy to the dance floor.
Yeah.
And there were many other people. My neighbors were out there dancing, but yeah, I thank you, Kenny, for attending my wedding. You were more of a friend than Fez.
Well,
I'm kidding.
that hurts, but
No.
alright.
None
Uh,
of your
no, I mean,
I'm messing with you.
I love dancing, as you know, and, like, uh, Raza's wedding was a more of a traditional brown wedding
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it was like, there was, like, no dancing at all. It was just, uh so for brown weddings, to explain it to you guys a little bit, uh, they had 2 events. Usually there's more than 2, but their 2 events, the first day is, like, the ceremony time, the second day is the, reception. You don't do it the same day. And usually for the ceremony, like, it's even private, like, it's just family in another room, and they did it there, and then from there, they just come over to the main hallway, and everyone just kinda eats food, hangs out, says hi, and then leaves, right? So it's like, not a very eventful first day, let's just say that, right?
Yeah.
The second day is where, like, more kind of happens, like the dancing and all that. So did that Saturday with his first wedding, and then second day was, his, like, reception, and his mom put me in charge of making sure everyone starts dancing, 'cause they know that I love dancing and I, like, bring that energy or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I was like, "I don't wanna call his wedding out, but do you have a DJ?" And they were like, "No, we don't have a DJ." So I had to DJ the freaking wedding to get people to start dancing.
Was it
Um,
was it like an iPod or a
yeah,
computer connected to speakers and you just kept putting music on?
I had someone's phone, yep.
Alright. Well, that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
too far off from the car karaoke we often do in Dallas whenever we ride
Right?
together.
Right, so, I had some experience, and then it's, like, again, very traditional, like, very hardcore Muslim people there. I'm like, "How do
Mhm.
I get this crowd going?" And then I started playing some, like, music, like, and I
Mhm.
played, "Fire Burning" by Sean Kingston, started
Mhm.
with that, and then I, like, moved my way up to, some Chris Usher songs, and then
There you
there I
go.
moved my way up to "Hot in Here" by Nelly. And once I started playing "Hot in Here" by Nelly, I started seeing some uncles, like, started tapping their feet, started moving around a little bit on the edges, and then
Wait,
by
hold on. Up to this point, is everyone just, like, not moving? Everyone's still sitting down,
no,
you're just up there by
everyone's
yourself?
just doing their own thing, and I'm just, like, just kinda in the corner, like, checking the vibes for each song, and then in the meantime and I gave, like, instructions, clear instructions to Rosa's brother. I was like, "Listen, dude, here's what we gotta do. You gather your cousins, I gather all the friends, turn the lights down 10 minutes. I'm gonna play this one song, and everyone's gonna go. Alright?"
Mhm.
And that did not happen, right? 'Cause, Raza and Xana did not wanna dance. Raza and his wife. So I'm like, "Alright," and the lights didn't turn off. So I just started, like, slowly cueing these songs, and I get the
Mhm.
vibes going,
Mhm.
and then in the meantime, I got the phone taken away from me by, the wife's side of the family. They wanted to
Yeah.
play, like, these Brown songs, and it shut the entire vibes down. Everyone was like, "Oh, okay. Well, never mind." And then, like, as I got really pissed, I got the phone back, I started playing a song, and I played, the classic, um, "Monday at the Butch Get the one song that Jim was dancing to in the
Oh, in our
expedition.
car, yeah. I mean, if
Uh,
someone asked me what is the most hype brown person song that I could think of, that's my go-to.
it's a
That's
crowd
the
pleaser,
it is, it is. It's a gym
you know?
pleaser.
Yeah, it's a it's a white person pleaser and a brown person pleaser. You can't get better than that.
Yep.
And to those who don't know, I'm not gonna sing it, but I'm just gonna go like you know that song.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure everyone got that. So There's Jay-Z in it, there's a Punjabi song, whatever, and they got, like, got the party going, and everyone started dancing, and it was a good time. Um,
Mhm.
but, yeah, it was very awkward at first, and it was just difficult to get going, but, yeah, and that was his wedding night, and, that was the weekend for me on that one, and then we also went to first,
Yeah.
Ravi's daughter's first birthday.
Yeah, so one of our really, really good friends, his, daughter had her first birthday, so we went out to their family's place, and over
Hold
there
on. We haven't mentioned Ravi's name in our podcast in a very long time. Remember that? Remember when we first started doing the
that
podcast?
was
We're
a
like,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's gonna take a
Well,
couple podcasts to listen back and figure out when we stopped doing it, but yeah, Robbie's back. Probably another year until we mention him again. But over at their, family, it's a farm, because they have alpacas, and so they have, what, 7, 8-ish alpacas,
Mhm.
but there's one alpaca in particular that is special, and he's not special because he's brown. So, this alpaca, because he's brown, his
He's
name is
black.
Chip.
What?
No, 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 no. It's Chip like chocolate chip. But this I forget exactly the story as to why the alpaca ended up being at their suburban home,
Mhm.
but for whatever reason, when it was a baby, they brought it home, I guess, to nurture it, maybe it was injured, I don't know.
His
Anyways,
mom died.
it was Hmm?
His mom died, that's why early. So he had to be, like, bottle fed and whatnot.
Alpacas only have 1 alpaca, or moms only have 1 alpaca baby at a time? Okay,
Oh.
anyways, yeah, mother wasn't there, no one was there to, care for it, so they brought him home, and at the home, they have a dog. So this alpaca has a lot of dog traits. It is the only alpaca at the farm that will wag its tail, which is hysterical. But then also, because it was raised around people inside a house, a literal house, it is very, very comfortable with humans, and now it's probably a little too comfortable with humans.
Mhm.
We've been to the farm several times, and
Yep.
we've been around this alpaca several times. I've never seen him act the way he did on Sunday.
So let me, like, give you a little more of a background. A year ago, Ravi and Michelle had their baby shower at this ranch.
Yes.
And, the alpaca was there, Chip was there, and Chip was very friendly, like, he came
Yeah.
over, he gave you hugs, and, like, let you pet him and all that, he was curious. It was awesome. But if you turned your back against him, he would jump on you, and that's what he did to Ravi's mom, where he jumped on her and she fell against a Cybertruck. I think we talked about it in a podcast a year ago.
Yeah.
Um, this time around, this dude was aggressive.
Yep. It didn't matter if you had your back to him or you were looking dead straight at him, he would come at you, and I didn't expect that. So the first time he did it to me, he pushed me down onto the ground.
Mhm.
And
This dude would lock eyes, and once he's locked eyes with you, it's game over. He's coming from a mile away, full speed, full sprint, and, like, freaking karate kicking your chest.
well,
It was so wild. He would
and because
come
this alpaca is such
flying at you. Because when
yeah.
he's flying, he's taller than anyone else out there.
The funniest thing about, like, the way this alpaca runs is because, like, he has such a long neck, his body is leading his head. Like, his head is, like, leaned backwards, but then he finally comes up to you, and he gets up on the back legs, and he wants to kinda, I don't know, kick you, punch, like, hug you. I don't know what he's trying to do, just, like, assassinate you or push you
Basically
over.
chest bumping you every time.
Yeah, chest bumping with his hooves, his front legs. But the first time that he did it to you, you basically, like, sucker punch him in the neck. It was
Yeah.
like watching slow motion. Like, he gets up on his back legs, kinda charges towards you, and then you sidestep, and then at the exact same time with your right arm, get a right hook into his neck on the side. And then he, I don't know, ran off and tried to chase someone else down. But it was hysterical to see, like, a year ago, he is one of the nicest alpacas, the only alpaca that would come up to you. And now he's still the only alpaca that will come up to you, but he does it very aggressively.
Yeah, I never thought I would, like, sucker punch an alpaca, but that's how it had to happen. Like, my instincts just kicked in because he, like, started charging at me, I, like, stepped back and just punched him,
Yep.
and then, like, it started running after, like, so Ravi had his family there, he had, I don't know if it's his grandparents or some cousins or whatnot that were
Yep.
there with, like,
Yep,
other
yep.
kids, and he just started chasing after them. So, like, the entire time at this birthday party, we were just chasing Chip, and making sure he wasn't, like, running over kids.
We were chasing Chip, and Chip was chasing us.
Yeah.
It was happening at the same time, but it didn't matter if you were a guy, girl, old or young. Like he just had an interest in everybody. And then
Mhm.
also there was that one girl who was like very friendly, and she had been on farms before, and she had no problem getting close to animals, hugging them, and she
She,
fed
like, grew
them
up with,
and like
farm animals, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And for a moment, I was like, okay, she tamed the beast. Chip is fine. He's calm. He's not gonna hurt. No, he gets up on his back legs and then sucker punches her.
Yeah, no,
So there was oh man,
that was
this
actually
Chip
really fun.
it was that was a lot of Anya. I'm so happy that you're 1 years old, but I cannot wait until we can tell you the story about this alpaca. How long do alpacas live for?
Like 14, 15 years?
Probably. Oh yeah,
She'll know.
Chip will be around when she's older
Yeah,
and listening to podcasts. Alpaca age. Yeah, it was a good time.
yeah. No, I
15 to
think,
20 years. Okay.
she'll be
15,
fine,
20
she'll be
years.
fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll be around, but, she'll be fine.
Mm.
She'll be taming the beast at that time.
She'll be riding out. She'll be riding Chip next year. How about that? We'll put a
I
saddle on
would not
Chip.
trust that. Uh,
Michelle's gonna kill me. Robbie might actually be interested in this.
he's like, "Alright, hold up. How do I put a seat on an alpaca? Alpaca rodeo? Is that a thing?"
We can make it a thing.
But it was a good time. It was a lot of fun to just chase around Trip and getting, like, jumped around by him because, like, he wouldn't hurt you because if you just kinda manned up and pushed him back, but, like, if you,
Yeah.
turned your back on him or anything, like, he was gonna push you down to the ground and maybe stomp you, I don't know. Because
Yep.
he's, like, 130, 140 pounds.
Yeah.
And he specifically, like, only hated Robbie's brother, Rohit.
Yeah, he didn't have a problem pushing anybody over, but he particularly had an interest in Robbie's brother. And Ravon, also the other brother.
Yeah.
Once they came in and like realized this, like Ravon would just like push Rohit in front of the alpaca, like, all right, alpaca, do your thing. Take him out.
No, so he didn't mess with me after I sucker punched him until, like, the very
He
end where he
didn't
jumped on me.
I was gonna say he came after you one more time. I do remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The funniest was, like, we were about to started singing a happy birthday to Anya because Anya had finally woken up, and we are about to, like, cut the cake and all
Yeah.
that, and we just see Chip flying at us one more time. So, like, half of us were, like, on guard, half of us were, like, enjoying the birthday.
Yeah, that was hysterical. Half of us and the half that were singing happy birthday to Anya, like, I was one of them singing to Anya, but at the same time, like, every other word, I was turning my back to Chip to see where he was because I was so afraid if I was gonna be in the middle of me singing to Anya, he was gonna come and sucker punch me, from behind.
And he did come back, and all I could think about in my head was, that WWE meme. Is like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 he's back again."
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a good
sure. Um,
that Sunday morning sucked because I was still, recovering from being hungover from the wedding night prior, but
yeah,
Chip woke me up and got me over the hangover.
yeah. All in all,
Good times.
extremely busy weekend, but extremely fun too at the same time. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
lots of
Congrats to Raza.
actually,
Congrats to Carol. Congrats to me. What?
not just that, like a lot of old college friends were in town. Like I got to hang out with my other buddy Min Win. He moved to Virginia for like 7 years, or he's been there for 7 years, and came to Dallas after a very very long time, and I hadn't seen him for a very long time. So got to kind of catch up with him. He stayed with me for the night and whatnot. So yeah, very like it was an eye opening event of like how far we've come in life in general of catching up with old friends like that, like how old we've gotten, I guess, from college. Like I
Yep.
never thought these days would come, but like reminiscing on old college days of we even drove down one of the streets that we used to go back road driving on. Um, and we just ran across it on accident. It wasn't on purpose. Like we were
Mhm.
just driving on Campbell,
Oh,
going
yeah.
toward another place, and he just that road was there. So like we turned left and did that.
Yeah. We're not getting younger, but that doesn't mean we can't reminisce or don't forget the younger days. Don't forget the old days.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cherish them and carry them with you. Yeah.
yeah,
This is cool for me too. I had a lot of college friends that came out and visited. I had friends that basically were telling me to my face 7, 8 years ago when we were in college saying, Nick, "Are you and Carol dating?" I was like, "No, we're not dating. Like, we're just friends." And look at us now. Oh, I got to pause. Fez lost his microphone.
Anything car related that you did this past couple weeks?
Oh, hold on. Before we keep going,
Oh,
did you turn the knob, or can you move it a little bit away? Yeah, that's good. That sounds equal to how you were before.
okay.
Okay, so enough about Fez and I realizing that we're getting old and cherishing old times.
And weddings.
Car related. So what? I didn't really do anything car related this weekend. We're just remote. We had the expedition and the Tesla up in Dallas, so nothing fancy. You?
I finally got my coilovers. Uh, so to those who don't know, but most people actually do know by this point, I got some Fortunatos. Fortunato's my new partner for the season. So excited to work with them. And I got a set of Pro two ways from them, and I was setting them up this weekend, trying to get everything ready for Road Atlanta. But I'm running into issues, and I don't. The car's like has a bunch of issues. I need to figure all that out, and I don't think I'll have time to actually do a test day before Road Atlanta, unfortunately. So I'll have to wing it. Um, but yeah, so I set I was setting those coilovers up. I put them on the car. I was doing the droop and bump travel settings on the coilovers. My first time doing something like that, but it was going pretty good until one of the corners messed up. So as I was setting it up, I also preface these have the quick disconnect reservoirs on them. So I had the reservoir
So
one.
are the quick disconnects? Is it the same kind of connection that like a quick jack would use?
Yes, similar to that.
Okay, I was just curious what kind of quick connection it had. Go on.
Yeah. So I uh, I was installing it. And I was about to start doing the bump travel setting, so like jacking the corner up. And as I was jacking the corner up, the suspension was not compressing, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" The whole car was lifting up rather than the suspension, that corner being jacked up, right, or compressing. And I quickly realized that the quick disconnect was disconnected. The reservoir was not connected to the shock. So
Mm.
luckily, no fluid came out, barely any fluid came out. And I connected it back in, and it was fine. And I like set the coilover up and everything, and I had all 4 corners installed. And this is my last corner. That I'm at the point of like, okay, I'm not gonna route this canister through my wheel well into the engine bay and all that. So to make it easy, I decided to disconnect the reservoir again. And when I
Mhm.
did that, it spewed oil all in my face and all on my chest. So I don't know what happened. I think it's my fault. I'm not sure.
So you
I
think
should.
like maybe I don't know. I guess the valves that would normally hold the liquid bag somehow got messed up during that one time where they overextended.
It wasn't overextended. I think when I was trying to compress it, maybe there's an air pocket that formed or something, or maybe
Oh,
I'm honestly not sure of what exactly happened because like in a normal situation, the fluid would have come out of the shock when I was jacking it up without without the reservoir being connected, right?
I gotcha.
So
Mhm.
I'm jacking the corner up, and the reservoir is not there, so it has to go somewhere, and I would assume it come out there, but it didn't.
Wait,
It only
no, if you're jacking the car up, so you're extending the shock, it should be pulling liquid from the reservoir.
compressing it,
So,
not extending it.
oh, you're compressing it? Then yeah, never mind. It
Okay.
should be going into the reservoir. You're right.
Yes, so I'm compressing it, so I in that scenario, like, it would spew out when I was trying to compress it, but it didn't. Nothing the shock itself didn't compress.
Hmm.
It literally just jacked the whole car up. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. Regardless, it puts me back, like, a week, if not more, um,
Because you
of
can't test it yet.
testing the
We're
car.
waiting for it
Yeah.
to arrive.
So I shipped it back to Fortunato. It's gonna get there probably tomorrow or today. I don't know if it got there today, and they're gonna fill it with fluid again, and then ship it back to me, overnight it. And then hoping I'll get it by this weekend so I can install it, so I can do a test day next week sometime, and then go from there. Um, and then I need to install the header and the front pipe that I got finally got a date with G Speed on there. I think Friday is when I'm gonna be doing that.
Nice.
And getting the car tuned on, all of it. So that's that. So lots of things, that I need to kind of finish up, corner balancing the car, setting it up, and all that, and then you're doing some test days.
Well, I would be interested in helping you out, except for the fact that I have my own car setup going on still.
Yeah.
So, still gotta get my bearings pressed in, and that's gonna happen on Friday. I'm actually taking the day off and heading down to San Antonio to
Mhm,
go to Nick's house with all new bearings, new knuckles, uh, fresh everything on the front end, I guess, of the steering
mhm,
side, and get that all set up and installed onto the Focus. So Nick actually he came out to the wedding, so it's super cool of him to drive up from San Antonio, come out to the wedding. Actually, in one of the videos where Carol and I drove off in the expedition, I saw Nick's Focus RS sitting in the background, and then I was like, "Damn, I should have asked him to let me drive that around.
yeah,
That would have been
dude.
a cooler send off car." So yeah, I'll
I'm
have
surprised you didn't use your Focus RS as a send-off car.
well, the wheel bearing is bad, and like the whole front end's taken apart right now. It has no front knuckles. It didn't even have it. I even had the front control arms taken off over the weekend.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I guess we'll just have to do it on the fourth wedding next year.
One
No, and
wedding a
then
year.
yeah, one wedding a year. That's
Right.
what everybody does, right? That's when the anniversary is.
You're already on that track right
Uh,
now.
basically, maybe year number 10. No, year number 10. Year 20. I think year 20. If you make it to year 20, that's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Any case, the other thing I need to do with the Focus is the oil cooler. So the oil cooler from Damon, I have all the parts, and I'm gonna get that installed on Saturday. So it's really just two big items: oil cooler install and front like bearings pressed into the front knuckles and getting that all put back together and doing an
Mhm,
alignment on the front end. The car should be good to go. So my plan is to do a shakedown at Harris Hill on Thursday, May 1st. Yeah, Thursday, May
okay.
1st, because there's a track night in America that day. So I'm gonna go to that. And then if I still need to do more shakedown testing, I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday with some of the member people to do a little more test and tuning, and then the car should be good to go. I think I'm
Cool.
gonna do Beeville again. So there's an autocross down in Beeville on the weekend of May 4th. Yeah, Sunday, May 4th. So I'm thinking of after Miami Sprint on Saturday, driving down to Beeville, spend the night at a hotel, do the autocross on Sunday, and then get the car back up to Austin, put on trailer, and then it'll be ready for Road Atlanta like 2 days later. We'll see.
Gotcha.
Yeah. My main goal is I still don't know if my high pressure fuel pump is fixed,
Mm,
quote unquote fixed. Basically, because I've been running 93, like 3 tanks worth now, hoping and praying that it's like gonna somehow rejuvenate the high pressure fuel pump for 85. But because it's been out of commission because of my bearing issue, I haven't been able to test it. So that's why I have like so many days. I'm trying to like do more testing because not only is it testing on, with the oil cooler, make sure I didn't mess anything up on that install.
mm.
I also want to make sure that the high pressure fuel pump works. I need to run like one more tank of 93 through and then put 85 in. And if 85 starts acting up again, then I'll know like okay for road lane I have to be in my 93 tune. Um, but I don't want to be discovering that I have an 85 problem at
Mhm.
Road Atlanta because Road Atlanta we only have 2 days and it's only the morning sessions.
Friday and Saturday, right?
Yep, Friday, Saturday. So it starts at like
So
8 a.m. and then we're done by 2 p.m.
mm. Also, I don't know if there's any E85 stations nearby.
I'm not sure either. That's the other problem with like I don't want to show up with a full tank of 85 in the car and jugs of 85
Mhm.
just to discover that nope can't run on 85.
I'll
So
take
I don't know. I may do something where I, like, show up with a full tank of 93, run it as empty as I can, and then maybe the morning session of Saturday, I'll have a tank of 85 or, like, 5 gallons of 85 to do a PB lap, and then
mhm.
switch back to 93.
You don't have to tune your car, right? It's on, what's the term I'm
It's
looking
already
for?
tuned for the 2 different. it's already tuned for the 2 different fuels, but
Uh-huh.
it's not a flex tune. So when I
Oh, I see.
switch, I need to be as, like, empty as possible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that kinda throws a curveball into it. If I was flex tuned, probably would not have this issue.
Mm.
And, just in case anyone's wondering, it's not a tune problem, this is 100% a hardware issue, and it just kinda sucks that the most expensive component I bought to run 85 is the very component that's giving me problems. But it is what it is. Oh well, I'll figure it out and deal with it.
I mean, worst case, you still get to drive it. Drive Roadrunner, right? On 93.
Yeah, the only problem with 90, the only other downside of 93 besides being down on power is that it does burn hotter. So
Uh-huh.
it's I really will be banking on this oil cooler helping me out with the cooler temps.
Yeah. So I was
But
actually in LA and Seattle earlier the week before as well. And I was hanging out with some of our old college friends over there in Seattle.
hmm
And we were talking about this, how your mentality has changed over the years of how initially, like, you just wanted to go drive different places and you weren't trying to be competitive. And you didn't do as many events back in the day either, right?
yeah,
Now we were seeing a change in you in a sense that, like, you're trying to be more competitive. You're pushing yourself to be more competitive and you're trying to do more events. Like, you've done a ton of events this year and the
yeah,
year is, like, not even halfway through. I've done 1 event.
we flipped around.
Yeah. So, props to you, dude. I mean, just also make sure you spend the money in the right way too, like coilovers
Yeah, yeah, I fully understand. Coilovers
and
is definitely
tires.
on the
Yeah.
list for the. Well, I got new tires, so the new tires have already arrived. I'm just gonna
Gotcha.
be running RE71s.
Did you use my screenshot? I
No,
should
they wouldn't
watch
let
here
me.
then.
So, I think they've cracked down on it. Like it's been to the same manager at discount. He's done it
Uh-huh.
before. It's like he's like, yeah, I know I've done this for you before, but like they're cracking down on him, so that he wouldn't let me do it.
Ah, okay.
He was like, if Bez was here and he was buying it, then sure. I was like, okay, fair point.
Interesting. And they don't let me
Yeah.
do it here either. 'Cause it's, when I tried doing that,
Oh,
it's they're like, "Yeah, it's this is cheaper than I cost. We can't do that." And I was like,
then who is using your code? Who does it work for?
"I have to order tires. Like, they get
Oh, you have
delivered
to
to
do
my
the
house."
You have to do the pallet stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will probably buy new tires again, like another set because I have the other track set that needs new tires as well.
Mm.
But once I get back from Atlanta, I'll buy a new wheel because I still have that one wheel that has the groove in it from NCM. You remember we
Yeah.
went to NCM like what 2.5 years ago now at this point, year and a half.
It was 2022, 3 years ago.
Yeah. So I got a groove there, and I still have not put new tires on that wheel.
Yeah.
So once the tires come off, I'll buy a new wheel, get them all repowder coated, and then put new tires on.
Yeah.
So what
Um,
else? Ooh, yellow. Okay, I really want to talk about Banana 2.4.
for yeah,
Well, because it has an F8
yeah,
2.4, but
yeah.
Banana 2.0. What can you say about Banana 2.0?
Everything. I think it's been revealed. Everyone knows about it now. So, um, to give a little bit of background for the people that are listening, I back in college, I had a FRS RS 1.0, which is really Series 1.0. That was my first official car that I owned and drove and all that. That was a car that got me into motorsports, got me into tracking, doing autocross. Actually, my first autocross I ever did was with Ravi, the person we were talking about here earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and our other buddy Cliff. And that first autocross I ever did was in Downpour, and I got 3rd place as a novice, which was, I was ecstatic. That's kinda what hooked me.
mm-hmm.
So ever since then, my goal was to, compete with the car and get better and better and better, and I started doing Gridlife Club TR with that car until I put it in the wall at Mid Ohio, and I, like, cried about it a little bit because, it was just a lot of the car meant a lot to me. 'Cause that's the
Yeah.
car that, I made all my friends through, that's the car that I was recognized as, that's the car that started Banana Man. I put the
Right.
Chiquita banana sticker on it, and then I put a banana suit around it, and, Banana Man was formed. Um, It had a great value, sentimental value to me, and I got that car in 2015,
Mhm.
and we released the Yuzu Edition GR86, which I had a part of. So, I was the guy that well, I was one of the guys, so it was a different someone else's project before that got handed over to me. Um, and that proposed this idea. I was working on this idea of making basically reviving the release series 1.0 in GR86 form. Same formula, putting the body kit on there, quad tip exhaust, um, lowering springs, the spoiler and all that. So to make it new day RS 1.0 essentially. That's all I was the
Yeah,
goal.
the quad exhaust I love. I think the quad exhaust on the first gen and this gen, this
Yeah,
Yuzu Edition one, it looked
yeah.
really, really good.
So the second gen, the quad tip, the tips are much bigger than the first gen. Um, just to
Looks
fill the
so.
holes out.
Is that just like the catback portion, the tip portion? Because the whole muffler has to be different, right? Or is it just like the tip?
So the exhaust already existed before. It was a normal GR exhaust that we had in the past, for like a 2022, 23 model year car.
Mhm.
Um, so all they did when that was just change the tips. They
Okay.
added another tip, so it's now a quad tip instead of it's just a dual tip.
You're right. Right, right, right.
Um,
Looks good.
yeah, I mean it
I
was a great
think
car.
I think that
Yeah,
would be a great daily for you to keep it here in Dallas. Like, if your car was up in Chicago, get
yeah.
that model, keep it here in Dallas as a daily. The only thing is, yes, I know you want something a little bit quicker, so, like, throw a turbocharger on it or put a supercharger on it and daily that.
One thing though about that car, so like I know I mentioned lowering springs. That car actually does not have lowering springs. That's going to be a dealer installed option. If someone wants to go buy a dealer lowering springs, they can later on, or they can just have the dealer install them for you. But when we were working on it and we saw like a prototype of that car with the body kit, it was already pretty low. With the body kit hangs really low,
Mhm.
and there would have been some kind of transportation issues with the body kit already being low.
Oh, the Focus had that
Um,
too, like, the Focus all RSs got shipped with these, like, blocks in the springs
uh
just to raise the car up enough to go and get it onto, I guess, the 18-wheeler trailers.
yeah.
And some dealers forgot to remove those blocks, so people were complaining about, like, their Focus RS having a stiff ride. They're like, "Damn, I knew this was an RS, but I didn't think it'd be this stiff." Like, it is nearly unbearable, and
So
everyone in
the
the comments would say, like, "Get underneath, like, jack it up real quick, pull the blocks out." Guarantee that's what it is, and most of the time, that's what it was.
the FRS RS 1.0 had the same issue. It was shipped with those blocks, and sometimes the dealers would forget them. This
Yep.
one would also be shipped, I think, with those blocks because the body kit just hangs that low. So now imagine that plus the springs. There's the blocks aren't enough.
Hmm. Damn. Worth it.
Yeah.
I think the car looks great. I think
Yeah,
it's a great homage to the original, the one that got you into your current yellow GR86.
yeah, man. One additional thing that couple a new additional thing to this car that didn't exist on the RS 1.0, where it's mainly like the interior bits. Like the interior has like yellow stitching all around it.
Yeah, I
Um,
noticed that.
kind of giving it make it look better, I guess. And then
Mhm.
what else did it has? That's it. I remember.
Okay, so, like,
Oh,
basically
The Brembo package. Sorry, the Brembo package is also new on this car. Did not have that we did not have on the RS 1.0.
so your RS 1.0 had the exact same brakes as, like, any other FRS,
Correct.
but then this one does have an upgraded brake package.
Upgraded brakes and those slack stampers,
Pretty cool. Hmm.
which is just a performance package that you can get
So
on a regular car.
so the way I see it is, like, it looks hot, and then also it actually if you, get the lowering springs as well from the dealer, it actually should perform a little bit better around the track. You'll have higher min speeds, in theory, with this car. Your VMAX is not unchanged, same power, but maybe a mile or 2 higher min cornering speeds.
I don't know.
I guess you can't say. Let's assume. In theory, it's got the recipe for a little bit better time on track.
It's not that I don't know. It's not that I can't say. I really don't know. I don't know if lowering springs.
Guess you
'Cause
gotta buy one, Fez.
that's
You
not a
gotta
standard option either, that's a dealer installed option, so
right. Oh, well. Looks great. You and your department did a great job with the car.
yeah. That car was a bitch to get across the final door though, 'cause,
The what?
to the finish line. It was that car was a
Oh.
bitch to get across the final finish line, because last minute we got some notification that the body kit is not certified under, uh, some certification like EPA regulations and all that, um,
The
and
EPA
Subaru.
has a stick in okay, that's weird. Anyway, Subaru said what?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 'cause, you're adding another body kit, and, if the MPGs get impacted, then that's EPA gets involved if to get certified.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's, like, technically an aero kit or whatever. So to give a f
Air dams
um
are bug deflectors. Like
What?
I was listening to some podcast and someone was like arguing that what they had on their car was not an air dam, it was a bug deflector. And so it was like forcing Adam and Abe to go and actually define what an air dam is and how it was, I guess, different from a bug deflector. To me, I'm like, okay, yeah, that bug deflector is also acting like an air dam in my mind. But
Yeah.
yeah, people will get into the weeds of the rules like that. It sounds like
No, I
the
mean,
EPA does too.
EPA does too. I mean, like, if it's changing to MPG, to give a little bit of background, the spoiler that exists in the premium GR86 impacted MPG. That, was how do I say this politically? Anyways, it impacted MPG, and it was not tested for, or we did not know about it, and, we had to pay customers back for every mile per gallon that was impacted.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, it was a very touchy subject, um, and you never wanna do that as an OEM. That's, like, about ton of
Yeah,
money.
I gotcha.
Um,
Do you
and
wanna talk
yeah.
about the other 2 cars? So there are 2 other cars that also got released the same weekend. Is there anything you wanna mention on those?
Yeah, so there's another car that was, the GR, Supra,
Final
Mark
edition.
5 Final Edition that was released as well. That was my buddy Andy's 100% his project. He loved it to death. That's a great car. It has a GR, the stitching on the headrest, the interior has, like, some Alcantara red stitching, um, some, cup holder covers so your elbow doesn't, like, go into the cup holder when you're shifting.
Mhm,
Slightly bigger rotor on it, and, it has the front wheel spats on it as well,
mhm.
and a ton of under bracing to make the car better handling, and then it also has the carbon spoiler, and then the GT, or style package is what we're calling it, has the red mirror caps, and then the GR logo on the rear corner on the bottom rear corner.
Oh, yeah.
Um, it's just an aesthetic thing, but to give props to Andy on this, Andy did that in Gran Turismo. Like, he literally was trying to figure out how to make this car unique in a way and was trying to come up with the graphics. He built that graphic and built that design, the matte black with the GR logo on the corner with red mirror caps in Gran Turismo. And then he shipped
Dang.
it to Japan, and Japan liked it so much, they actually put this on their actual GT4 car.
That's pretty funny, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
And then it
and
came to
parents
production.
say that, like, playing video games is gonna get you nowhere in life. Look at that being a prime example where video games actually came in and paid the, salary off, I guess, in
Yeah.
one way. That's pretty cool.
And
So,
then
did
the
he also design the graphics package for the GR, Corolla?
Okay, the GR Corolla. That has GR camo. GR camo is, it's just our version of our own camouflage. That's not gonna be on
Mhm.
the car, or, that's not an official color, or graphic package, but that
Yeah.
car is a development car, is what we're saying it. Um, like, we can't say too much about the car because it's still in development. It still needs to be driven by some master drivers and all that.
Mhm.
Tested and improved upon. The whole goal was that we wanted to show the world of, like, "Hey, this is one car that exists
Mm.
that
Mhm.
we're developing right now, trying to continuously improve, you know, driving it on racetracks, breaking parts, improving parts." Um, and then we'll go from there,
Hmm.
see what happens.
Okay.
But that car, just from visual aspects, it has, um, some fender vents, some hood vents, an adjustable wing that people saw. Um
Really manual adjustable, not Not automated. It doesn't have DRS, right? Like, it's the manual adjustment versus
You want it
ooh,
to have DRS?
I w I would actually consider. That's actually pretty good.
Uh, I can't say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I mean, the whole concept for that was to be we also had a hydrogen-powered Super Taikyu race car, a GR Corolla race car out there,
Oh,
and
cool.
the camouflage car is an inspiration from that.
Mm.
It had
Hmm.
some carryover parts in there as well.
Does it drive like an EV if it's hydrogen powered, or is it actually combusting hydrogen like a internal combustion?
It has the inline 3 turbocharged engine in it. It just powered on hydrogen.
Oh, so it's not fuel cell. Okay.
No.
Dang, that's pretty cool. Hmm.
It had when I was there, the back seats of that car was literally just 3 giant hydrogen tanks in the back.
That sounds safe.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, those are the 3 cars, TBD on the GR Corolla on what that is and what that's gonna be. But Supra Final Edition, that's the last year Supra Final of last year of the Mark V Supra, A90 Supra, and then the Yuzu Edition. Those are the 3 cars that we launched. And I know we've been talking for a while, but, last
Yeah.
thing I did was go to Seattle and attended a rally race.
Okay. The ARA rally, I was really looking forward from a spectator. I enjoy rallying, like from the WRC aspect, and I have Rally TV, so I will be watching all the content coming out from I can't even pronounce the island's name, but I don't know. They're having a rally on an island on the west coast of Africa,
Mhm.
and Rally TV gets to show you all of it. You can stream it. ARA, there is no body that I could find that was actually like doing live coverage. I'd reached out to ARA's Instagram and commented on one of the photos, and they commented back to me. I commented asking like, "Hey, how do I say up to the minute? How do I get content up to the minute? Like, is there a live stream coverage?" And they responded with, "No. All event details. Follow our socials and follow Dirtfish Rally for extended coverage." And it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth where I was like, "Damn, like Gridlife and Super Lap Battle are two grassroots motorsports organizations where they had really good streams, and I kind of want to touch on that in a bit." Meanwhile, this ARA, this national rally organization for America, could not watch it. I don't know. It kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. But let me know what it was like to be there on the ground. Is it cool? Like, is
Well,
that
I
the
had that
enjoyable aspect?
conversation with them too, about, like, their viewership and all that, and I asked if it was being live streamed, and they said no to me as well. Um, yeah, ARA, it is national, but it's kinda like NASA. It's the NASA for rally. It's just a regular it's also
Mm,
grassroots, they're still very grassroots. There's 1 pro team there, and
Subaru.
it's Subaru, and that's it. Every other
Hmm.
team is like a grassroots team that just has a lot of money. Or they bought, like, retired Subaru cars.
Oh, I see. So you and I could compete in an ARA
Yeah.
in theory if we had a rally car that met the specs.
Yeah, we could go and we can enter as novices, and then there's, like, a whole novice program, and then that's it.
Okay, that actually changes my perspective on it because I thought it was a bit bigger. I thought it was like the American version of WRC.
Nowhere near it.
Okay, never mind. Then they need to. Okay, so then they could like have even more growth, in my opinion, if they were able to go and
Mhm.
get coverage like Grid Life and Super Lap Battle.
That's what I kinda mentioned it to them too. They said that it's a little difficult because of there's no cell service out there. In a lot of these stages, there's no cell service,
Have they been
so
to Gingerman at Midwest Fest? There's no cell coverage there either.
yeah, so they have to use Starlink, but here's the thing about Gingerman. Gingerman's, like, in one location. These
Yeah,
stages are, like, 20 miles long,
yeah, that's true.
you know? Unless they put Starlink in each corner of that stage. Um, it's difficult. It is difficult, and then also, like, the viewership aspect of it, I dude, I couldn't figure out where to go. Like, their
Mm.
website, because Chase asked me, he was like, "Hey, I wanted to go take photos. Can you tell me where to go and whatnot?" First of all, I didn't have cell service to respond to him, but at the same time, like, when looking at it from the, spectator side of view, It was just so hard to decipher where to go and where the viewing was where people could go to watch and all that. We had to be basically guided by some marketing guy at ARA to show us where to go, and there's like 2 spots where you can have spectators watch, and that was it. Like a
Yeah.
15-mile long rally, which is stupid. So, I think
That's
that's
unfortunate.
kind of the reason why rally isn't so big in the US because people like to watch the whole thing. That's why
Agreed.
Lime Rock does really well because you can watch the whole track from one area. That's why NASCAR does so well, so you can watch the whole track from one area.
Yep. And that's
But
also
ARA,
why,
you can't
like
do that.
yeah, and that's also why, like, races or events where you can't see everything that's going on,
Mhm.
it you have to rely on some really, really good commentating. So,
Yeah.
Gridlife, for example okay, did you listen to the Gridlife stream from CMP?
I didn't I didn't get a chance to listen to it this year.
Did you see any of the comments on Facebook about the stream?
I did hear there was a I don't wanna call her out, but the lady that
Okay,
was
no,
there,
no, 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 don't say the bad thing, say the good thing. Did you hear about the good stuff?
I heard about good stuff from Ito. I heard a lot of good stuff that Ito
Yes!
killed
Fucking
it.
Ito yeah, Ito fucking killed it. So, when Ito got on there with Kyle, like, it was actually good content to listen to. So, I was
Yeah.
in the garage working on the car, and I knew what was going on almost every corner in Time Attack because of all the commentary that Ito was able to provide. Because he himself is a Time Attack enthusiast, he
Mhm,
goes out there and competes, so he knows every single element of, like, what a driver's going through at each part of the track and, like, what the driver is having to deal with in lap 3 versus lap 1 with heat and
mhm,
tire management, passing and, like, throwing corners away to, have a run on the next corner, and so, like, it was incredibly good content, and Kyle's great at, like, the racing. I
mhm,
love listening to him for GLTC, him and, Craig
yeah,
Kramer? Yeah, the other
right,
co-host with Kyle. But when it comes to
mhm,
Time Attack, Ito and Kyle together, that's an awesome combination. So it
yeah,
was great that I knew what was going on without having to watch the stream. I could just listen to them.
mhm.
And I wanted something like that for ARA.
It's just gonna be tough for them.
Yep. Oh, I recognize that.
It's
But
also
like,
not cheap, like, Falcon basically pays for their live streams what they keep selling us, and it's not cheap, so
yep. No, I
I don't know what
100%
the
understand that.
future looks like for area. I know WRC might be doing a trial event in Tennessee this year,
Oh, that'll be good
and
if that works
then
out.
if that works out, yeah, so we'll see how that goes, and
Yep.
then maybe WRC comes to the US, I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that was one of the bullet points I want to mention regarding ARA versus like Grid Life. The other stream, so Super Lap Battle
I will say it was really entertaining to watch. I
in
remember
person.
in person, yes, like, even if it
Okay.
was just 2 corners that I watched, I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy good." Um 'Cause I remember back in I was 21 years old when I went to my first Formula Drift event, and I was absolutely geeked on just seeing those cars being so close to each other, just, like,
Yeah,
drifting in tandem and all that, right? I thought it was so cool. That type of excitement came back when I saw a rally for the first time.
I get that. That was
Yeah.
me also when I went and saw Rallycross, Nitro Rally. I think it was called Nitro Rally. Like they
Nitrocross?
come Nitro Cross. Yeah, I went out there with I remember Kyle was there and I believe Chris was there as well. Any case,
Gotcha.
that was an incredible event to go and watch because yeah, it was like the first time and watching these cars jump around and like jumping through the air was part of the racetrack. That is
Yeah.
badass. That's also
Right?
what grabs my attention towards Rallycross itself.
I really
Uh
wanna do Rallycross or rally in the future. Like, I wanna build a, 86 for rally.
I am not opposed to trying it out in the Focus. I'm I have my eyes set on a couple events, and I've already, like, gone to one just as a spectator
Mhm.
here locally in Austin, and there was a lot of cars are stock. There's, like, stock class, and I was talking to all of them. Some of them are on lowering springs, and they don't have a problem with bottoming the cars out because, like, this one is there's no crazy jumps. It's all just slide around sideways in the dirt,
It
which at
depends
the
on if
moment is
if you
what I'm looking for.
I think rallycross is easy to do, it just depends on the courses. I think there's one course near us that's kinda bumpy that, Reza went to with his Miata, and the wheel hit the fender, and, like, after the fender, so I don't recommend that. But, I think there's one in Ennis that's not Ennis, or Oklahoma, that's, like, super flat.
We've been a little bit all over the place covering rally and grid life. I just got a couple bullet points real quick. Actually, one major bullet point. So I want to shout out to Eddie. He did a good job in street. He got in podium sprint, got P4, front wheel drive record as well. He beat the Elantra, so great job to him. Also, when Gridlife regarding the ads, so you remember all like the Gridlife series episode content they put out on YouTube over the course of
Uh-huh.
last year. So they were actually using that content as part of the ads when like there was no track action going on. And so even when there was nothing going on track, they still had content to show streamers. And so like
Uh-huh.
stream what would I call it? Attendance or like viewership was actually like relatively maintained even when the track was cold because of that kind of content.
That's cool.
So yeah, the
Uh,
ads I didn't think I would say this, but like the ads were great on Grid Life.
nice. Since you're giving congratulations as well, I would like to congratulate Mario Moroni and Evan McLaren for kicking ass in Club TR this past weekend as well. I know
I
they
heard
weren't
they
able to
kicked their
get,
transmission.
and Mario did blow a transmission. He did blow a tranny. He pulled a Mario and podium sprint. So, but he did put a good amount of effort in that, and I think he still holds the record for CMP at the same time. So, I know it sucks to lose out at the very end, but he put his all out there, and got it done. At least he got the record, and then Evan McLaren as well got P2. I know it's not what he wanted, but yeah, it was he did good.
They
The
did.
P1 car was a FA24 swapped 86 by Jeremy Bailey. So proud of him.
Dude, that was a fire lab that you put down. I was watching the
Yeah.
content, listening, again to Ito and Kyle, and they were going bananas over that car, coming into P1. So, great job. Great job.
Yep.
Que más, que más, que más? That's really all I got to comment on CMP. I wanna go to the track sometime, but was not the year.
Do you
Okay,
want to
so
touch on the rule stuff about how there's multiple drivers in like one car or like all that?
I'm not gonna it's been covered quite a bit by other podcasts, like, it's been
Yeah.
mentioned by,
Heat
the
exchanger.
Heat Exchanger podcast and his other podcast. He also does one for, AEG. And also Eddie touched on it, they just released their podcast today or yesterday,
Huh.
depends on what time you're listening to this, and they covered the content. But, basically, there's confusion whether podium sprint would be 3 laps or 2 laps. Drivers
Uh-huh.
were told 3 laps, but then when drivers were pulling up to the starting line, the flagger was saying you have 2 greens and a checker,
Mhm.
which some people took that as 2 laps, and some drivers even tried to get more clarification, is that 2 or 3? And there was just miscommunication going on there apparently, and I'm sure in the heat of the day, stuff people get a little frazzled, but I'm sure it'll get figured out by Road
So was it
America.
3 laps or 2 laps?
3. Officially, it's 3. Drivers should be getting 3 laps.
So they changed that at Laguna. Laguna was 3 as well.
Yeah, I think it's better. I understand that some drivers prefer the 2 lap one because, like, they're the only one out there, so they get a lot of viewer like, the camera theoretically is only watching them,
Mhm.
but at the same time, the drivers that actually can take full advantage of that are actually, like, getting a faster lap in the second time, like, it just didn't happen nearly as frequently, and I personally, watching the stream, felt like there was a lot of dead air, especially in
Mhm.
the higher classes where a car would only have a one-lap wonder, and
Mhm.
so it just kind of the commentators were just kinda trying to, like, fill dead air for 2 to 3 minutes waiting for the next driver to come out. I prefer this setup. I think CMP, the podium sprint format worked out great.
Mhm.
Now next time people will know 3 laps, and I think there'd be a lot more content for the commentators to watch and spectators to view. For me, I would prefer 3 laps for my car because my car is, like, I can hit it hard on the 1st lap. I could try to cool down on the 2nd lap, and then I should have enough thermal management to do another flyer. So, for me and my car, 2 laps is not enough. Or sorry, 2 laps is too short. 3, I could actually do a 2nd flyer on that 3rd lap. So, if
Gotcha.
I'm fortunate wait, do you know if Road Atlanta is doing putting sprint?
No.
I think it's just normal time attack,
Yeah.
fastest of the weekend. Yeah,
They
so
don't
never
have time
mind.
for
Nope,
that because they're combining with Formula Drift, so they don't have time for all that.
that's what I figured. Okay. Well, if we are fortunate enough to go to another event later this year that has a podium sprint format and they do the 3-lap setup, and I'm fortunate enough to also get into that, then I would look forward to the
I
3
don't
lap.
think they're even live streaming Road Atlanta.
I think you're right. I think it's only Formula Drift is getting live streamed.
Yeah.
Although, but if the stream's already there, I don't know. I think okay, so last time I heard about it was that they were still trying to figure out the streaming situation
Mm,
because of stuff. I don't know. Rules, legal stuff. I don't know.
gotcha.
Hopefully they do. If not, bummer. We'll try to put out content on Instagram stories. It'll be like the ARA.
It'll be like ARA. Hey man,
Come on.
I know there's a lot to catch up on today, because we aren't doing this more frequently because it's just been really busy for both of our sides from work and life stuff.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I just want to say I'm beating you in Formula One. Still.
I didn't hear that. Oh
Oh.
yeah, barely, barely. You know what? I'm gonna get your ass. Don't worry. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I got more points than you.
Dude, I've had Piastri up until I had Piastri on double points up until he earned too much to now be eligible for the double point one. But I still have him on my team. Dude, I'm so happy with his winning streak right now.
I think I got more points than you last time.
But are you ahead of me?
No, not yet. I got 176 points. You got 153. Sucker. I'm catching up, bro.
Catching up and not beating me. Not the
I
same.
am I am how many points? 30 points away from you.
Not beating me.
Don't worry. Give me a couple more races.
Yeah, let's see how
All
this
right,
next
dude.
one goes. All right,
On that note,
gotta go. Yep.
good talk. Thank you all for listening. And see you guys next time.
Yeah. We'll try to do better coverage, but probably not. So see you again in a month after Road Atlanta, most likely.
Peace out.
Later.